Somebody recently asked me, what would be the top 3 skills for an entrepreneur or freelancer? What would you say are the top 3 skills? This is a hard one to put your finger on because it really depends on what part of the business cycle you're in. You see, when you're first starting a business, you have this initial stages of market assessment, and then you put together the basic structure, and then you start growing it from small to medium, etc. So there's different skill sets that are required at different parts of the business life cycle. It's interesting. In fact, I found that different people are better at different stages of the business. So I know some people who are amazing, really good at coming up with new ideas and getting something off the ground. On the other hand, these entrepreneurs are not very good at managing businesses. They just don't like it. They like to do new things. And on the flip side, I know people who couldn't come up with a new business idea and come up with a model if their lives depended on it, but they're really, really good at managing the ship, if you will, managing and keeping things running smoothly. 2 different skill sets. Sometimes you have people who can do both. I find, though, in my life, I found that people are basically better at one thing or the other. So it's comes down to psychology, of course. So what would be the top 3 skills, I think, for entrepreneurs? So I'm going to assume for people who are just starting out. I think number 1 is being honest with yourself, being honest with what you see. One of the big problems that noobs get into, noob entrepreneurs, is that they look at things with rosy colored glasses. They come up with these crazy projections about how well their businesses are going to do or how well the product is going to do. They look at things, again, with rosy colored glasses. What do I mean by that? They're a little bit too optimistic about prospects of a product or a service. Their assessments of things are exaggerated. And it's just because they really want something to be true. So they kind of create a fantasy. What you have to do is not to be negative or pessimistic, no, but you have to try to be right in the middle. You have to try to assess things more honestly. This is going to give you better information. It's going to allow you to build the business. It's going to allow you to be more successful more easily as an entrepreneur if you can be as honest as you can in terms of your assessments of things. Number 2, you have to have really good communication skills, reading, writing, speaking, not reading, writing and speaking skills so that you can communicate your ideas and be able to, whether you're selling something or working with partners or working with people, contractors are working with you, etc., being able to communicate clearly, succinctly, meaning without going on forever, is a very important skill to develop as well. So that's something to consider. Another thing that entrepreneurs should have in 2018 is at least a low-level understanding. Let me rephrase that. To have a foundational understanding of technology. Why? Because technology is the great equalizer today. Even from when I started in business in the early 90s, I was either 91 or 90, something like that, versus today is you have the great equalizer, which is all this technology, the computer technology, the internet, social media. All these things make it so much easier for entrepreneurs today to get off the ground than it was just even 30 years ago. I can tell you that from personal experience. It's incredible what the opportunity is. Like, for instance, right now, I'm in my car here. I'm using a prosumer DSLR camera, Canon 80D, so it's not super expensive or anything. And I'm able to record pretty good-looking HD video just, with no effort. Whereas 15 years ago, 10 years ago, this would have been very, very difficult, well, impossible, right? It's like, so you can get quality of output with minimal effort and cost, unlike ever seen before. With social media and the web, it's incredible how you can get the word out very quickly. It's great opportunities, but you need to understand the technology. So, for example, I'm involved in one of the companies I'm involved with, I'm a partner in. I'm acting in the role of the CTO, the Chief Technology Officer, amongst other things. And even though what I'm doing now has nothing to do with coding per se, I'm evaluating SaaS software and looking at the best way to get the thing off the ground in terms of the technology end of things. It's not a technology product. I'm not going to get into the details of business here, but the point is, because of my tech background, I was able to assess, do we build from scratch? Do we go with a SaaS? If we do go with a SaaS, what sort of SaaS do we go with? What kind of hosting? Because there's a website, of course, based on this whole thing. What kind of hosting do we go with? How do we proceed, et cetera, all these things. And I'm able to assess these things much more easily, much more quickly than my partners because I'm a nerd. I have good tech skills. That's why I always talk about it's important for entrepreneurs, even if they have no intentions of writing code, to at least understand the basics of web design development. This way, they'll just understand the landscape. You'll understand the options, the possibilities, what's it all about, and it will allow you to make better decisions with regards to your technology deployments. So important because technology is a key factor in any modern business today, whether it be an online-only business, whether it be a restaurant or a butcher shop. You need to leverage technology because it will save you a lot of money, get you a lot of clients, save you a lot of time. It's just important that you understand that. So yeah, tech skills, communication skills. Another big thing, and being honest about how you assess things. That's three. I'm going to throw in a fourth to end this video. You need to be super conservative with your money in the beginning. Why? Because you're going to make mistakes in the beginning. You're going to make mistakes, and you don't want to make mistakes that are going to kill your business, meaning you run out of money. That's what puts people into bankruptcy. They run out of money. That's all it is, running out of money. So being able to manage your money, have good money management skills is such an important part about being an entrepreneur. I know it's not exciting. It doesn't sound exciting, this stuff, but this is the reality of the situation. I believe you can become successful as an entrepreneur. I think it's inevitable if you follow some basic rules, including these four I just gave you here. If you follow these things, you don't burn through money, you're honest, you understand tech, you evaluate, blah, 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 you're going to find yourself, it's inevitable that you can be successful, in my opinion. And I say that because I've done it several times, and I've seen not just my own experience, but my friends' experience. You know, as they say, birds of a feather fly together. Once you are in business, what happens? You start meeting other people in business, and you start becoming friends with people in business, and you start discussing. And this happened to me for the last 28 years. So I have good friends of mine who've been in business. Some have been very successful, some have failed. And I can tell you, after I've seen this, almost, I'm getting old, almost 3 decades, I can tell you what works, what doesn't work, what causes failure, what causes success. These 4 rules I just discussed are the foundational concepts, if you will, foundational things you have to have in place if you want to be successful. Hope it helps. Bye-bye.